think Gillyweed.
Hello. What are you looking at? Hello. You want a petting?
No, Gillyweed doesn't want a patting. I think she's in an exploring mood, aren't you, Gillyweed?
What is that? It smells very bad.
Gillyweed, don't electrocute yourself. That would be silly. Why would you do that? That wouldn't be very good. Don't get electrocuted, Gillyweed. Oh, whoops. My phone is not on silent. Oh, look at little weed. Okay, let me... Hey there, Alphonse M. I'm just going to remove my phone from its case because that's annoying. Now I have a little bit more flexibility to go and give Gillyweed a little petting. Yes, little petting for Gillyweed. Oh. What a good bunny she is. Yes. Hey there, Liam for Hustle 96. Gillyweed was a big sook yesterday when I had a total of one friend come over. I guess it was me as an extra as well, technically, so she gets a little bit disconcerted when there's a large gathering, and she acts really stroppy. So the only time that one of my friends has ever experienced her is when she's being a sook. Hey there, Tabinler. Hey there, Glaucus92. You shouldn't be awake for this. Oh, I'm sorry. But I'm glad you're here to see little Gillyweed patting. She seems kind of relaxed now, so I won't make her do tricks. But after we show off the board games, I might show you how I've trained her. I trained before I left for Belgium. We were working on some training, weren't we? And she was like going through these little cat toys you see over there, going through there to do little tricks. Hey there, Casey Explosion. You came at a good time. So, yeah, I've trained my rabbit to go through these things. It's not as good as it sounds like in practice. It's just me tapping the entrance and then tapping the exit. But she still somewhat remembers it, even though I haven't been there for 1.5 years. Oops. Oh, I can't resist. Lately I've been spending all my time away from Gillyweed because I'm staying with my parents during the pandemic. But this is my actual house. And Gillyweed is here. Yes, little weed. Hey there, Ravine Crowford. Watching Riots on one tab, Rabbit on another. Very mixed feelings. Oh, thank you so much for saying hello, Casey. Hope you're doing okay. Yeah, it has been a really rough time lately, especially in the US. It's absolutely ghastly. I'm thinking of doing a fundraising stream there as well. Oh no, I've got bunny hair up my nose. Isn't that always the way? The little payoff. On the one hand, you get to give your bunny a kiss. On the other hand, you get to have all of her fluff up your nose. Little baby fluff. Let's have a look under her mouth there. Little grumpy. Look how grumpy she looks. They always look like they're scowling. You're always astounded to see people's houses so clean. Oh, I mean, this particular bit of floor is clean. Oh, little keys for Gillyweed. Okay. All right, now on to the board games. Still got fluff up my nose. All right, so Casey just said, oh, it's so clean, but look at this. Actually, I had these board games a lot neater when I lived here in 2018, But in the year and a half since I've been gone, this is not the whole collection. It used to take up all of this. But as I was saying, my sibling uses downstairs as a study, so has brought all their books down and unceremoniously plopped all my board games into different areas, which is fine. I'm not living in the house, so I figured they have a right. But also the jigsaw puzzles are like mixed with the board games, and that just seems wrong to me, you know? Like there's just some part of me which is, you know, that grates a little. I had it so neatly done, and they were arranged in order of size as well. Anyway, so the copies that I've bought of these games, I haven't necessarily had the chance to play before heading out. And I'm really grumpy about it because I love board games so much. I was thinking maybe doing a stream which is like now, which is to actually take a look at all these board games. So not just like say this is Mysterium, this is Media Magnate or whatever, but why don't we like not actually play them obviously, but just take a look at some of the components and how the games work, because I'm really interested in game design. Was I a Battlestar Galactica fan growing up? No. To answer your question, I watched the later series, like the modern version where Starbuck is a lady. And I remember at the time I found it all very, very hypersexual and uncomfortable to watch, and a little bit silly towards the end, but it was interesting. And ages 10 to adult, yes. But the board game is really good. I'll show you that at some point. Well, next. But we actually played it last night for my birthday after several years, and it was so fun, absolutely fun. Compared with a TV series, it takes all the things that could have been better about the show and then puts it in your hands. So you basically get to release the Snyder cut, per se, of Battlestar Galactica. So this is the Mahabharata board game, which we got from an Indian import shop when we were children. And it's actually really cool. It's really complicated to learn how to play. I can't remember everything about it exactly, but I know that you have karma cards and prowess cards. And okay, so... Oh wait, I'll show you the board first. That's probably the most important to really understanding the game. Or is it? Look at that! What the hell is that? It's like Monopoly, but religious. If you're not familiar with the Mahabharata, this is if you're aware of what are they called, Hare Krishnas, this is the single Hindu sacred text that they adhere to. So like because in this story, Krishna, who's this character here, is the equivalent of Jesus in the sense that, you know, he dies and comes back to life, and he's like a god on earth who helps the mere earthlings. But yeah, the Hare Krishnas are all big on this, probably because of, basically they're all white and want to have something that's similar enough to Christianity, but exotic. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't want to denigrate a whole religion there, but it is very, very white and uncomfortable. Full of like white people saying Om, like signing off their emails with Om because they understand it means peace. So therefore, because they would sign off their emails in English with peace. Oh, God. My sibling has had a few run-ins with these types as a classical Indian dancer. Anyway, so like the aim of this game is you are either the Pandavas or you are the Kauravas, and the Pandavas are the good guys in this board game. The Kauravas are the bad guys. Oh, you can also get blessings and wrath. Look at that. Yeah, take that, Miss Andre. Okay, let me take out all the cards. But what I really always liked about it, oh, virtue as well. Where are boys? Okay, let me find the boys, shall I? Ah, well, there are the instructions there, and a hell of a lot of coins. Oh, it smells like an old game. So this board game is also based off capitalism, like Monopoly. I get the feeling that was like a base. A Cav stream, yes, it's a Cav stream because I'm at my house, as in not my parents' house. I've been staying with my parents during the pandemic. And I figured while I'm here, I came here for my birthday to play some board games, but I may as well, show off all this stuff. So you can get it's so complicated. There's so many card elements. So the Kauravas are like the bad guys, and the Pandavas are the good guys. And I think you have to choose whether you are the Kauravas or Pandavas based on which one you land on, which one the first player lands on, and then from then on, you're either the Kauravas or the Pandavas. And you can like recruit warriors. So you can recruit these, and they are either excellent or superior, which means that when you fight them, like over here, oh, look at that strict-looking man. If you land on like a Kaurava thing and you're a Pandava, you have to fight them. But if you are a Pandava and you land on a Pandava warrior token, you either gain their support or you have a little friendly battle. But yeah, what is the aim of this game? It's really complicated. But all of the cards include like lore, so you learn a little bit about the Mahabharata while you're playing it. Bhima, after wrestling a long time, killed Jarasandha, who was going to sacrifice 100 kings and saved them. Thus was Yudhishthira able to perform the Ashvamedha ritual to become emperor. Pandava-supported players receive a blessing card and a coin. Like, I mean, way to sum up. I'm sure this was like a whole chapter or something of a text, but like it just assumes knowledge on so many different things. Let's have a look at another one. Ashvatthama committed the ultimate dastardly act by killing exhausted and sleeping Pandava warriors after the war. Krishna cursed him to wander forever alone and unloved. Ashvatthama supported player receives a wrath card. You think the aim is indoctrination? Realizing that Drona could not be killed by fair means, Krishna persuaded Yudhishthira, famed for his truthful speech, to falsely imply that Drona's son, Ashvatthama, was dead. Drona then threw away his weapons. Each player with Pandava support loses a virtue card. So yeah, I'm not really sure what prowess and what the difference is between prowess and karma, or why they're necessary. But we've got like a summary thing here. I think this is like a summary table, which is just how to fight. Is it just me, or is the audio very delayed? Oh, I hope not. I was told that the internet right now is not very good. So if this keeps up, keep me posted. We might have to do this another time. Oh, thank you so much. Enjoy your test tomorrow, and please don't oversleep. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's look at the overview of the game. Okay. All right. To win big, you must face big challenge. No. The game is replete with characters, and this sounds like I'm reading a Diamond comic. For you, naturally. Tell me. What? Like, just tell me how to win. What is the aim of the game? Instructions. Spot by spot, according to category and number. No, I don't want that. I want to know. Jesus Christ. Just tell me. Brief description of board squares. Like, if you have to do that, if you have to describe every single square, then probably you've got some issues here. Oh my god. Okay, I'm going to tap the table now. 1, 2, 3, tap. 1, 2, 3, tap. 1, 2, 3, tap. Let me know if that's out of sync. Oh my god, just while waiting, I'll just try and see how to win. A note on the caste system. Oh, interesting. Huh. Yeah, that seems to... There's at least 20 seconds delay? Oh no. How do I fix that? I'm gonna... Let me see if I can... I guess now that it's on me, you can probably tell the difference with the audio. I'm gonna pop into my... Oh, sorry. I was going to pop into my sister's room to check the modem, but their partner was asleep and now I feel really bad. How shall we do this? Is this like, if it's not too bad, is it worth continuing, or should I stop and try again, or do you reckon we just have to deal with it? Because I can always do this another time. I just thought it might be fun to do now. Didn't really realize until you were doing face cam. Like, look at this. Look at this timeline. It's ridiculous. Genealogy of Lunar Dynasty and important Mahabharata characters. Yeah, the point of this game was definitely indoctrination. So let me know if you think it's tolerable. I can keep going, but otherwise I'll take a break. And we can come back and do this when we have better internet. I wonder what's wrong, because it was fine last time I did streams here on my phone. I still don't know how to win this game. So maybe this was... You think it's tolerable? Okay, I'm so sorry. Every so often I'm going to do a test just to see whether it's better. Yeah, there's a note on the caste system of India, and I do want to read out that little section. We'll just get a little preview of what you're going to say. So is it the my audio that is fast, or is it the video that is fast? Okay, so here it says... Though the caste system in India has been much maligned, in reality, the problems associated with caste are the same problems of exploitation perpetrated by individuals and interest groups throughout the history of civilization, in the name of religion, sex, race, nationality, or class system. And similarly, the castes, based on a division of inherent attributes too, fell a prey to the exploiters. Therefore, it is the mentality of exploitation of fellow human beings that needs to be eradicated in a manner similar to what is happening in the fields of race, sex, cultural origins, etc. Food for thought. The video is ahead of the audio. Oh, that's frustrating. Oh, spoiler alert, Krishna dies. Okay, so I've been looking through this whole book, and I honestly don't know how to win the game. It just says to win big, you must face big challenges. Like, how to play the game. Oh, okay, how to win. Okay, thank God. Alright, how to win. The first player to collect the following wins the game. So you need to have 1 celestial weapon, 1 flag or conch card, 8 virtue cards, and 18 coins. Oh, that's cool. So it's like you have to go on different quests as you go around. That's really interesting. And you can get, like, you know, Pokemon in the form of Kauravas and Pandavas in order to help you in your little quest, Gillyweed. What you doing?
Hello.
Gilly's gonna be upside down.
Hello, baby. Little happy weed. I'm a happy weed.
Aww. What a silly bun. What you doing, Gilly? You can have a little lie down.
Little lie down for Billy Weed.
Oh yeah, the Bhagavad Gita is the sort of excerpt, I guess, of the Mahabharata, which Hare Krishna's uses.
Isn't it Billy Weed? I don't care. You're really stupid. You're really clever.
Oh yes, you are, Gilly Bead. Gilly Bead is like, parent, I require attention. She is a little bit, isn't she? Oh, did the emotes get approved? Oh, that's so good. That was a lot quicker than I thought. Actually, I need to replace the emote with another slightly edited one, but oh, I'll do it overnight. Little preening. You can watch Gillyweed while I put all these cards away. But yeah, I thought that was it's a really interesting board game concept, isn't it? Like, try to get your, well, not in India minority religion, but you know, to me, it's a religion that you know, barely really gets much attention in the West. So, well, besides Hare Krishna's. So, yes. Alright, let's put all these away. All the cards. Okay, that's all done. Now I'll put the board away. Okay, Gillyweed's being boring and cleaning herself. So we've had this game. Oh, I just tore it. We've had this game since I was in primary school. And I think I've played it a total of like four or five times, but I kind of, having showed it to you, I kind of want to play it again now.
Don't I Billy Weed? Yes. Excuse me.
She hates feet. Sometimes she'll like tear the slippers off you. And she always nudges you if you're too. Yeah, you see that? You see that? Look at that sass.
Out of my way. Out of my way.
Yeah. Oh! Gee.
Billy, you're so naughty. Oh, thank you, Billy Weed.
Yeah, this thing about feet that she really hates, but she's so sweet when she chooses to be. I don't know whether I mentioned, but my sibling took her to the vet recently, and the vet there has adopted Gillyweed's father, or is fostering him, and apparently they're the exact same personality. Like, they're both very, very stroppy, with very big personalities.
Yes, little stroppy weed. Thank you.
She doesn't lick very many people, so I feel very honored. She mainly licks Raina, my sibling. Gee. He does have an anti-foot fetish. Okay, let's go on to the next board game. Want to join me, Gillyweed?
No.
All right, Battlestar Galactica. How many of you are familiar with the series? Whoops. If you're familiar, you know when I think the show jumped the shark. I think this show jumped the shark when I think it was the second or third series, but Starbuck, the pilot. I mean, it always seemed like the showmakers had a plan for the series, but then all of a sudden, there's one episode where Starbuck is just talking about Scar, this ship called Scar, and all of a sudden it turns out that Starbuck has had this rivalry with Scar for ages, but has never mentioned it up until this particular episode. And then the whole episode is about Starbuck finally getting Scar, and I just thought it was stupid because like Scar wasn't anywhere to be seen for like 3 seasons. And now Scar is the most, notorious sort of villain around. So this game is based on the TV show, which is really funny, I think, because there's like, putting everything. Hello.
Do you need to plug in the thing?
Yeah, I wanted to like maybe test the modem to see. I'm so sorry, I didn't realize you were asleep.
No, I was just getting up. I did say I'd be gone at 11.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I was just like,
Yeah.
in the modem.
No, that's cool. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going now. So.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, try it out because the Wi-Fi can be a bit shit. So.
Yeah. Okay, I'll try and fix it now. Thank you.
Yeah, that's alright.
Yeah. You too.
Back later.
See you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try and test out this modem. Cav P does everything poorly, as you know. Are you still there? I'm thinking probably half of you would need to have gone to sleep, but and I apologize for that. Hey there, pups. Oh, goodness gracious. That was embarrassing. I was like, I'll just try unplugging the modem and plugging it in again. It's like, of course it's going to make the Wi-Fi turn off. The audio delay seems to have gone. Oh my God, I'm so happy. So it worked. Oh, that's great. Okay. Why did Streamlabs post that quote just then? That's not very nice. Adding insult to injury. Okay, so we've no longer got delay, which is fantastic. And yeah. So Battlestar Galactica board game is basically just like the regular show, except better because it's like a choose your own adventure sort of thing. And what happens is that you pick your own character who can have different skills and all that. And I should probably turn this around so that you can actually read it and it's not upside down. You'll notice I had a bunch of chocolate while stressing out about the lack of internet. So you start out with a whole bunch of resources. The goal of the humans is to try and get people, try and jump. So try and get the ship to jump up to 9 units of distance to find a new planet before any of these things reach 0. The moment one of these reaches 0, then we lose the game. Oh, really? You don't have permission to use? Okay, well, I need to change that then. Thank you for testing that out, William. But anyway, so the humans need to discover a new planet and survive long enough until they discover a new planet. The Cylons have to obviously stop that from happening. But the thing is, right, at the beginning of the game and in the middle of the game, everyone has to pick a loyalty card, which is kept secret to you. Let me pick up the loyalty cards. Where are they? There's a whole bunch of cards in here. Most of them say you are not a Cylon. But some of them say you are a Cylon, and one of them says you are a Cylon sympathizer, and I think one of them says you're a sleeper agent as well. Yes, we're back. And everyone's given a loyalty card at the beginning, except for some characters who are untrustworthy, who are given 2. And so your role is secret, and there's a very small chance that one of you will be a Cylon at the beginning of the game. And then halfway through the game again, you draw loyalty cards again. So it might turn out that you were a Cylon all along. And yeah, it's fun. Yeah, there's just the one quote right now until I can figure out how to make it accessible to everyone. But yeah, it's a really fun game because you can like throw accusations willy-nilly. Like you can just accuse everyone and their sibling of being a Cylon and just sow discord. Even if you're not a Cylon, I think half the fun is just kind of like, oh, that's the kind of thing a Cylon would say. So what happens is there are all these bad things that happen on every turn, and you need to basically do a vote where you use skill cards in your hand to see whether the thing is successful or whether we fail and bad things happen. If you're good, you want to play cards that are going to help, obviously, and all the votes are done secretly. And if you're a Cylon, you might want to jeopardize people. And there are also 2 cards that are played from what's called a destiny deck, which is just like 2 random cards that are dealt that can be of any value. And the fun is, when you turn over the cards, see whether you've got, whether we pass or not, and whether cards were played to mess us up. So if cards do mess you up, you need to think, is it feasible that the Destiny deck was involved? Or do we definitely have a Cylon among us? Or did someone make a mistake and play the wrong cards? It's really, really funny and really, really fun. I really enjoy that game. Even if you don't know the show itself, I highly recommend it. And even if you don't like sci-fi, I don't really tend to like sci-fi so much either. This game, Arkham Horror, is my favorite board game of all time. And you'll notice that it's kind of sticking out of the box, right? And that is because this is my custom travel edition, which is the base game, but with my favorite elements of all the expansions in it. So I've just packed cards. Like, they don't even fit in the special card holders anymore. They're like out here. But look how nicely, packed it is. I'm very proud of this. I'm not going to go too much into detail. It's really heavy too. And it's got like all the characters from the expansions. So the general, sorry, I'm going to open up the board for you. Yeah, I love this game, and I love some of the expansions and what they do. I'll just turn off my laptop there now that we've got the Wi-Fi working. Okay, so it's a sizable board. I have this sort of in-joke with my friend who is one of the founders of a board game site called Shut Up and Sit Down, because he notoriously doesn't like Arkham Horror. And I love it, so I'm always trying to challenge him to a game. Well, not that you challenge someone to a game, it's a co-op game. What I found out about those kind of games, I'm guessing like Mafia and all that, is that the best strategy is to roleplay some wacky persona, because then you get to do ostensibly stupid things without people realizing you actually do them to win. Yeah, so you can do the old double bluff. I thought maybe my sibling was doing that because they had a character where you had to draw 2 loyalty cards at the beginning, and they drew 2 loyalty cards, looked at them and went, and I'm like, yeah, well, they're definitely not a Cylon, because you wouldn't give it away that early. And then I was like, wait, but maybe they're just tricking, but no, they just made a stupid mistake. He once played as a guy who doesn't believe that werewolves exist while being one. Very clever. So, Arkham Horror, one thing I really like about it is that you'll notice that there's almost an equal number of women as men characters. There's a little bit of issue with the representation of people of color, but I get, like, they had limited material, but then they managed to make women a lot more prominent than Lovecraft, and he hated women. So, yeah. But anyway, everyone's, like, the women are just as powerful as men. Like, they're not support characters by any means. I really, really enjoy that. You've got a huge variety in characters. This is the same art director as Elder Signs, I believe, yeah. So you might notice some familiar pictures. They just use the same pictures in the digital version. Your game, the aim of the game is, as a team, to stop one of these things from awakening. And almost every round, a token gets put on there, which brings us one step closer to the edge. And in the meantime, there are gates. Oh, wait, no, this is, sorry, I say this is my travel edition, right? Gillyweed's in there tearing up cardboard. You could probably hear her. Let's have a little, let's see what she's doing.
Hello. What's you doing, little weed?
This is Gillyweed venting her rage because I won't let her into my sibling's bedroom.
Gillyweed. You're so grumpy. So grumpy.
Okay, got distracted. You feel the anger. She's such a sook. Okay, so I say this is a travel edition, right? And it all fits in that box. That was a lie. I actually have all the monster cards and the gate cards, because as you play the game, gates open up in different locations and they go to other dimensions. In order to beat the game, you need to go through these gates and seal them. And you also need to keep the monster level down, because if monsters overrun Arkham, then you also die. There's lots of ways to die in this game. In fact, it's very, very difficult to win. Unless you have, like, some of the OP characters, which I have discovered in my 200 times of playing this game. And I have a really embarrassing story, because one time I went to Taiwan. Well, I moved to Taiwan, and I brought my travel edition with me, and then I had it and was looking for someone to play for ages. And then finally I found someone. We went to a board game cafe after like 9 months of me being in Taiwan. I set out the board game and was starting to explain the rules, and was like, yeah, so you need to like seal these gates. Well, because it turns out I left this box at home. So grumpy. I had to get my mother to like send it up. But yeah, this is a really fun game, especially, and the expansions, the bits of the expansions that I use are things that emphasize role-playing. So for example, everyone's working as a team, but I've got one expansion which gives each character like their own individual quest. So each character has a backstory on the back, and normally it doesn't really enter much into the game unless you want to role play the characters. But yeah, the mission, the personal mission of each character, it relates to their personal story that's on the back of their cards. So they've got their own reason for being in Arkham and why they want to sort of get involved. And if they get the win condition, then something good happens. So gain 1 fight in this case. And if they meet a lose condition, then something bad happens, obviously. So a -1 penalty to all luck checks. And I really like playing with that element, because I like the idea of characters doing selfish things in the midst of helping other people. Like, everyone's good, but everyone's flawed. I really like that element. There's also a series of relationship cards, which has, let me see if they're here. Where are they? Where are the relationships? Oh, they're probably here. No? Oh, yes. No. Nope, I don't know where they are. Anyway, the relationship cards mean that two characters are bonded together in some way. Like, it'll say something like rivals, and then every time someone does a strength check, the other person does one. Or, I mean, that doesn't really make sense in this game, but something like that. There's some sort of reciprocal thing where every time one person does something, the other one happens, because of the fact that they are lovers or friends from another time or something like that. And I really like that too, the idea of, these people aren't just disparate characters doing their own thing. Some of them have pre-existing relationships. Hold on, I'm going to put this down while I replace this thing. Doopy-doopy-doo. You can just listen to the soulful sounds of Gillyweed venting her rage, her well-justified rage on some cardboard. Poor Gillyweed, how she suffers. Poor long-suffering Gillyweed. All she wanted was to be able to do whatever she wants, and she can't even do that. Okay. Poor little sausage. Rage against the cardboard machine. So, just to check in here, obviously I've got a bunch of board games, and probably won't get time in terms of my battery to go through each and every one like this. So would you prefer that I just give some basic descriptions of the general ones and then open up and talk in a little bit more detail about my favorite ones? One time I played this game, I got a Tommy gun, blessed, and 3 different effects that boosted my combat rolls and a combat specialist character, and came 3 dice away from soloing Cthulhu. That's so good. Okay, Gillyweed's got a little cardboard toy that my sibling put grains in, but I think she's used it.
I'm sorry, Gillyweed. You wanted it first.
She's very sweet.
What do you want, Gillyweed? Little Suki.
Oh, she's gone up to my slippers. Gonna throw them around. Oh, little sook. Please explain chess to us.
Gillyweed.
What? Am I in your way? This is Gillyweed's special rug. So I think she wants me off it. Yeah? Can you have a little lie down? Little lie down for Gillyweed. Oh! Oh! Gillyweed! I think she forgives me. Oh, I'm so glad you got to see that. Rabbits flop like that to show that they're content, apparently. So it must mean she loves me. Oh, I'm so glad we captured a flop on stream. Oh, what the happy one. Okay, well, I don't want to disturb her now that she did that nice flop for me, so I'm going to sit on the other side of the table now. Codenames is made by this game designer. I don't know how to pronounce the name properly, but Vlada Chvatil, who I think is... I'm not going to... it's... I feel like he's Russian or Ukrainian, but you don't want to get that wrong. And I'm probably, maybe he's Polish. I don't know. I'm really bad with Eastern European things, but he's this really interesting game designer. All of his games are incredibly different from each other. So this game is like a party game where, for example, you're in 2 teams and there's a whole bunch of cards, word cards, right? And what you want to do is, so these are doors essentially, and I mean this is not how it's really laid out, but yeah, Gillyweed does eat all my board games. You might have noticed some of them are a little bit more dog-eared than what can be expected from just usual wear and tear. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, that's definitely me, but that's just because it's well loved. The first time I played this game, it was in a foreign language, and that was not easy. Yeah, I was going to play this last night, but one of my guests was a Japanese native speaker, and although her English is very, very good, I feel like this game might have been a little bit, mean to her, because the aim of the game, right, there are spies behind here. You need to try and reach your secret agents. Well, one person is like the commander, and Oh, this is going to be difficult to explain without actually having it all set up properly. But anyway, you need to try and indicate to your teammates where all your spies are. But all you can do is just say one word and one number. So for example, and that means that I need to try and do it before the other people guess all theirs. So if we're just guessing one word at a time, then obviously the other team is probably going to win, right? So we want to try and get multiples at the same time. So I'm going to use an example here. It needs to be a word that is related or is thematically similar to both of them without actually saying the word or a name or something like that. So we've got Bond, Park, Wall, Himalayas, Revolution, Novel, Mount, Spot, Button, Fly, Ninja, check. Okay, so maybe what I might try doing is say region, for example. If imagine that I want this one, that one, that one, but not the others. I might say region 2 because I'm thinking Himalayas and Czech are related to the word region, right? Because there's the Czech region, there's the Himalayas, which is a region in Nepal, right? Oh, Vladimir Chvatil is from the Czech Republic. Okay, there we go. Thank you for that, Bill Casey. That was probably a no-no as well, like saying, oh, he might be Russian. But anyway, so then I want my team to be like, oh, okay, there are 2 regions. Which of these have something similar to the word region? Okay, Himalayas and Czech. Or they might be like, well, a park is a region of land or something like that. So depending on your line of thought and someone else's line of thought, you might end up with people just choosing the wrong thing and like ending up with helping the other players get their things. Or worst off, if they get a card that is on this particular area, because it'd need to be a grid, right, of all the name cards, not like that. If they get this one, it's an assassin, which means we instantly lose the game. So you need to be really careful not to mislead people and to make sure that you're in the same train of thought as the other people in your team. So yeah, it's a really, really fun game. I hope I've explained that more or less okay. I'll put it away now. Put it away, put it away, put it away now. Really good to play in a game, but it might be one of those ones where language is an issue because it involves you to understand the nuances of words and the implications as well of certain words, which is not always going to be something that's possible with a native speaker. This is my Portuguese version of the Settlers of Catan, which is a really fun colonizing game. I think this feels like a lot more of an on the nose sort of way of saying Settlers of Catan, don't you reckon? The idea is that I'll take out the boxes. May as well just take out all the boxes. Gilly doesn't seem to care. Oh god, this is a mess. I think it's probably been thrown around a little bit. God damn, this is not the way I put it away. Someone must have messed that up. Anyway, so the game is... Do I have an example of the board game? No, I don't. Okay. Well, this isn't going to help. You basically need to... It's a sort of passive competitive game, which I quite enjoy, where people are... Oh, in Dutch, it's also called the Colonists of Japan. It's not subtle. Yeah, apparently it was English where we decided that we wanted to be a little bit more neutral, shall we say. Politically neutral. Now I can't close it. How the hell did... Okay, we're gonna... While I'm talking about this game, I'm gonna put it away properly. I wish I had my stand here so I could show you the process of packing it up properly, so you too can pack it up properly. Like, this is one of those games where, like, the case itself is just perfectly suited to putting these cards away. I don't understand how it got like this. But yeah, you have to build your own colony And while you do that, you can be passively blocking off other people's journey. I mean, other people's colonies. Really, really clever game design. Very sophisticated and simple to learn how to play as well. And every time someone else has a turn, you have a chance of picking up things as well. So you never really feel bored, like, oh, when's it going to be my turn so I can do my thing, because you can do something every turn, potentially. Let's look at colonialism. Wow, this is a mess. That's how it happens. Maybe while I'm putting this away, I can talk about another game. Oh, gosh. And knowing me, because I want to do this right, I'm going to be putting all the cards the right way up as well. I'm one of those people. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Whoops. Sorry. Ladies and Gentlemen is an amazingly fun game that needs to happen in a group of, I think, like, it's better to play in, like, a group of 6 or more. And, it sounds a little bit odd, like, it sounds a little bit gender essentialist, but what I think is really interesting about this is that it's so tongue-in-cheek, it's so obviously, like, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, this is bullshit. Like, it's incredibly gendered to the point of parody, and that's what makes it really fun. People are divided into teams of, so a lady and a gentleman will be a pair, so you need to play it in even numbers. There'll be one lady and one gentleman, and they each have different roles, because as we know, men and women are fundamentally different. On each turn, the ladies are shopping for dresses, or no, the ladies are telling the gentlemen what kind of dresses and clothes and accessories they want, while so that they can, at the end of the game, they can be the prettiest lady at the ball, while the men go out into the stock market. They go out into the stock market and vote on stocks. And it's always fun to play with, you know, like AFAB people as the gentlemen and AMAB people as the ladies, regardless of gender, because you get to really mess stuff up by, like, doing over exaggerated things. So, like, when I played it, I was in a group of improvisers, so, like, professional actors in improv, and all the men were the ladies, and all the women were the gentlemen, and so oh, and me as well. So as the gentleman going to the stock market is like, yes, I'm going to vote on these stocks. Just very jowly. It's so fun. Those are the only two things rich people do. Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, it's a really, really fun game and really, really silly. So, like, even if you have, you know, more progressive views on gender like me, I feel like the game is pretty much built around that idea, and that just makes it even more fun because everyone is sort of in on this joke. I wonder if TERFs play it. I think they'd struggle with it. They'd struggle between, this isn't what women are like, and, oh, this is why we exclude trans women from our circles. Kind of want to test that theory out now, actually, but I don't really want to get to know a bunch of TERFs, if you know what I mean. Okay, so ladies be shopping, men do stonks. Is there a particular board game that's inspired your own interests in game design? No, actually, I'm not sure there is. Look how sophisticated this is. Like, all the like everything is in its right place when it's done right. Like, there's even a little place to put the dice. Look at that. It's awesome. Oh, I love it. Wait, what? Where's the blue color? Oh, it's over somewhere else. Wah! Yeah, the audio's fixed now. Isn't that great? Infiltrating turfs only board game meetup sites for my YouTube channel. Uh, I don't think so, because actually when I was younger, no one really wanted to play board games with me, and I wasn't aware that there was this kind of depth and breadth of board games available. So it was pretty much just Monopoly and, you know, that sort of thing, your typical fare. But I was always interested in game design. I actually, in grade 6, I made a board game, which is upstairs. I can show you afterwards. It's quite embarrassing. I wanted to make a game that would keep going forever, like a really long-running game that would take you know, kind of like Monopoly. I liked the length of Monopoly, but I didn't really like the game so much. But the thing was, Monopoly was my only reference for board games, so my game ended up being like Monopoly and Snakes and Ladders, because I couldn't think of a way to make the game last forever without having finance involved, which I didn't want. Wait, what goes in there? Uh-oh, am I missing something? I'm worried now. Why? Maybe that's for expansions? Let's say it's expansions. You made an Egyptian mythology themed Monopoly for an assessment. Oh, that's awesome! Do you still have it? You should scan it or take a photo of it or something. Diplomacy basically lost forever. I've never played Diplomacy. I've heard that it's almost ended a few friendships in one of my groups of friends in Osaka, which is quite funny. Where did these go? I know there's like a special... Oh, okay, they're meant to be out of the baggies, and then they can go over there, I suppose. But look at that, that is so much better. I was supposed to make up a board game for a grade 7 history assignment. Let's see, is it the right way up? Let's make sure it's the right way up, because I'm like that. I was supposed to make up a board game for a grade 7 history assignment, but I just took a Cops and Robbers themed game from an old book and replaced the cops with minotaurs. Nice. Oh no, I missed this token. There's always one, isn't there? I'd love to do board game playthroughs. Like, I'd love to stream playing board games, but I need more friends who are willing to play with me and who would be okay with, like, streaming, I think. And also, apparently, it takes a certain setup. Descent Journeys in the Dark is kind of like a D&D board game thing where your actions sort of carry over to the next. You do a campaign, it's a co-op campaign, and then once you finish one of them, you move on to the next one, and you level up and get different powers and things like that. I need more friends, Cap 2020. I need more friends with the same interests as me is the issue. Because I meet too many people incidentally, you know? Dungeons and Dragons Castle Ravenloft is pretty much the same thing. You can do it sort of sequentially, or you can just do one campaign if you like it. And there's stuff like you need to open up the things, you need to kill all the baddies, you need to do this within this period of time, that sort of thing. Dixit is a gorgeous game. It's one that crosses, to a degree, it's a language game which can cross language boundaries as long as you explain what the keyword means. Or at least it's a good language learning game, I think. And the reason why I want to show it to you, even though it's quite simple, is because the cards are gorgeous. And also I have most of the expansions because the cards are gorgeous. You can use these cards probably to inspire your writing and things like that. Like you can say, if you want to do a writer's warm-up, because each of them is just really pretty art, as you can see here. You could say, okay, I'm going to write a piece about the next card that I pick up. So we've got this image here. And okay, now we need to write a piece about that, or we need to make an artwork which follows this theme. So it's very, very abstract, very interesting pictures. And how it works is that everyone has a bunch of cards in their hand, and then someone says, picks a card. So let's say I've got a hand of cards here. and I want to choose this one to play. And I need to choose a keyword for this card, which would have some people guess it right, but not everyone. So I need it to be somewhat vague. If everyone gets it right, I don't get a point. If no one gets it right, I don't get a point. If some people get it and some people don't, then I get a point. So, oh, we had to make a history-themed game for school once, so me and my friends just made memory. We even made a box because all we had to do was print out pictures and stick them on some cardboard. We got a 90% on that one. All the other groups made very complicated board games with rules and shit and got lower marks. Oh, that's awful! You cheeky bastard. So anyway, maybe I'm gonna choose pensive. Pensive, which is, and you know, if I'm playing with like non-native English speakers, I would explain what pensive means, so that way they're better able to choose it. And maybe this is someone else's hand. So I put this card face down. And then other people in their hands, they need to choose a card that they think fits that theme. So I think out of these ones, probably this one is pensive, right? So this is me being another player here. So I'm like, okay, because what I want is I want people to guess my one instead of the correct one. So I choose one that most fits the theme from my hand, and I place that face down. And then other people do the same. And then all the cards are put face up, or shuffled, and then put face up. And then everyone has to vote on which one they think was the original person's thing. And then, you know, if people guess yours, you get a point. If you guess right, you get a point. And if you're the one who put the thing out and some people get it and some people don't, then you get points. So it's just such an easy, simple game with such gorgeous artwork. I need to do more stuff with these cards, I think. And there's another game which uses the same cards called Mysterium, which I won't take out. But Mysterium is a game where I'm only 30% in my battery. I'm gonna have to like charge it or something. Oh God, this is gonna be annoying. Maybe I'm gonna have to like bring cards over or something. But yeah, Mysterium is a game where which it's a sort of co-op game where one person is a ghost who's trying to express to like a bunch of spirit mediums how they died, and they can only indicate things using these cards. So that's the only way they can communicate. And so what they need to do is there might be a picture. They basically need to play cards which are similar or which remind the person of a given picture. So let's imagine, okay, the pictures are actually like specific to the Mysterium style. So let's imagine that's a suspect, right? And that suspect has all this stuff around it. So I want people to choose that card because that person is a suspect. And I've got a hand of this. Maybe I would choose this because there's a boat in the card. So I give my person that card, but you can play other ones as well in the same turn. Maybe I think this has water as well, and also the color scheme is kind of similar. So you can go based on the color, based on the things in it, based on the themes, but you can't say anything, and you somehow need to convey that that person needs to pick that card. It's really, really fun, and really, really clever as well. Okay, so I might try and go through these a little bit quicker. This is my Chinese version, bilingual version of Once Upon a Time, which is also an incredible... I love storytelling card games, and I love Space Alert. I'm going to talk about that next. So if you haven't heard of Once Upon a Time, it is a... Oh, I don't have the ending cards here. Damn. Where did I put the ending... Where did they put the ending cards? So this is a game... Oh, my God. I love it so much. A storytelling card game where... you're all collaborating to tell the same fairy tale, using cards in your hand as inspiration. So stairs, clothes, there are things, characters, events, things like that, parting ways, or 分道扬镳. And they're like, no, I can't be able to find the ending cards. But the ending cards are something like, and they all lived happily ever after, and they were married, and the evildoer was thrown into a well, things like that. So everyone is collaborating on the same story, and your aim is to try and take over the story, and then get rid of all your cards by introducing the cards as elements. So let me... Okay. So, I used it in my Chinese class one time when I was in Taiwan as a sort of like final lesson where we had to tell the fairy story in Chinese. It was so fun, so hard. So you can say, you know, once upon a time there was a fish. Like all these things need to be like main story elements, and you need to say at least one card. I mean, at maximum one card per sentence. You can say sentences without playing a card. Like there might be a time where the story doesn't make sense. You can't just say there was a fish and then the fish met a guard and then the guard washed ashore, and you know it needs to be a coherent story, and people can like vote you out if they think you're being an arsehole with it. But the thing is, right, you also have an ending card, and maybe my ending card says, and then the couple were married. What happens if I haven't introduced a couple in the story so far? It means I have to make the story about the couple, and the couple needs to be central to the story before the story ends. So if someone is talking about how the person decided they're never going to get married, or this person was the only person left alive, the fish and the guard got married, then when I take over the turn, I need to somehow introduce these people, because everyone's got their own ending card. Maybe my one is about the couple, there's a couple who gets married, and then someone else's card is, and the person was alone for the rest of their days. So we don't know each other's ending card, but all we know is that no matter how the story goes that we're telling collaboratively, it needs to end on our ending card, because only one person can win. And that's where the fun really lies. The fact that you might get, you know, you've spent all your cards and it's like, yes, I've just got my ending card left. And then you look at your ending card again and it's like, oh, shit, I just realized I need to introduce an ogre who gets killed. And then all of a sudden an ogre comes along. This game is called Once Upon a Time. There are versions in a lot of different languages. I think there might be a Dutch version, actually, if you prefer to do something like this in Dutch. And if you go to Board Game Geek, they have rules, like even if there isn't a version of it in your language, volunteers have basically translated a lot of the cards, or provided translations and translated rule books. But yeah, it's one of my absolute favorite games. I love storytelling card games so much. And this one, like the game can be over in like 5 minutes, or it can be over in an hour. Like there was one time when we played it as a drinking game where when the turn, I haven't explained the rules for the turn going to someone else, but when the turn goes from you to someone else, you have to drink. So someone steals the turn from you, and as a result, you have to drink. And you also have to drink when you're forced to pick up another card. But anyway, it was late at a party and we were playing this game, and it was like 4 a.m. Everyone wanted to get to sleep. Everyone was grumpy, but no one wanted to lose. So everyone was like on their last card, and they were trying to take over the story and slowly getting to their ending. They're just about to say their ending cards. You can see them getting ready to play it, but then they accidentally trigger a function, which means that the turn goes to someone else. And everyone goes, ah! Really fun. Which reminds me of another storytelling card game. If you're interested in storytelling card games, I have got you covered. I know pretty much all of them and own pretty much all of them as well. Here we go. Dark Overlord. Oh, and this is a great game too. Oh God, and there's Dungeon Quest, the drinking game RPG. This is Kev's onion kept next to... It's a coconut! It's actually a toy for Gillyweed. We put grains in the coconut, and then we give it to her, and then she pushes it with her nose, and it rolls around. Yeah, bet you feel bad now. Onion. We're Fijian, damn it. If you don't have a coconut in your house, life's not worth living. Okay, so Dark Overlord. I haven't played this version yet. This is Kev's coconut kept next to the television just in case. Yeah, that's fair enough. So, coconuts are Fijian onions. They, unlike onions, though, they don't have layers. It's just like milk. So, Dark Overlord is a really fun game if played well. If it's not played well, and if the people don't really get it, then it can be really frustrating. So it plays kind of similarly. What happens is that one of you is the Dark Overlord, and you have all the power to punish anyone as you see fit. And the way that you punish them is by giving them a Withering Look card. Where are the Withering Look cards? Is that a Withering Look? No. Where are they? Ah, here. So there's like a stage 1 Withering Look, stage 2 Withering Look, and where's the stage 3? Oh no, I think stage 3 is just end a game, but surely there's a stage 3 Withering Look. Anyway, so this is how Sean looks at you, basically. And basically 3 strikes and you're out. And how it works, there is no winner in this game. There is only a single loser. And the aim of this game is to find out who is the loser. Yeah, I was flipping them. It goes from 1 to 2, and there's definitely a 3 somewhere. Oh, well, maybe we'll find it later. Anyway, maybe... here we go. There's Withering Look number 3. So the way you play it is that you are the Dark Overlord, and you have sent the minions. Everyone else is a minion. And the minions have basically failed at the mission. So I could say, everyone, I sent minions. I sent you off to to retrieve the One Ring from Frodo so that we could take over the world. But I notice it's, the deadlines come along, and I do not have the One Ring. So what went wrong? Then you choose someone, anyone. Maybe they're looking at you funny or whatever. You just choose someone and you say, you, Sean, what happened? And then people, basically the aim is to pass the buck to someone else, because you do not want to be the person whose fault it is. So you've got cards in your hand, which can help inspire you. Like, you can use the name, the huge guard, you can use the image, you can use the description here as a way to pass the buck as well. And these are elements. So maybe you could say, and you get extra points from the Dark Overlord. I've decided if you use a whimpering, simpering sort of minion voice.
I'm so sorry, Dark Master, but you see, I had the One Ring in my hand, but then this guardian came up and told me that
something like that. But the idea is you don't want it to be your fault, so maybe it would be better to say,
actually, I saw this guard came up to...
No, let's imagine this guard is on our side.
I came here with a huge guard of 10 other minions, and one of them came up and they told me that...
Who else do we know? Let's just say Toshio.
Toshio had the ring and was running off with it. What do you say about that, Toshio?
And as well as playing the card, you play a pass the buck card, which basically means that you send it over to someone else. So you basically play a card or more, and then you have to play one of these with an arrow with like a finger pointing one way, and make it go to someone else. And then that person has to explain, like, the thing is, they can't say, no, that didn't happen. They have to admit that that was true. And that's where the fun comes in. You need to, it's like a yes and sort of improv situation. So it's like, well,
Yes, I was running off, but that was because I heard there was going to be a strong wind in the direction that Sean made us go, and I didn't want the wind to blow away the ring,
or something like that.
and I almost feel like Sean was making us go in that direction because he wanted the ring to be lost.
and then you can play it back on him, or you can say that the person you gave the orders was a different character. You can just make it go around. Sometimes it turns into a back and forth, but I think that tends to be not so fun for the other players. So it's better to sort of like round it up. It sounds like this is Paranoia the card game. Yeah, I suppose so. And what you can also do is if you have a card that says like, that has like a hand up, and someone else is having a turn and they're saying something, you can play a card to mess them up by saying,
Stop! You say that the guard gave the thing to me, but I saw all the guards out fishing, so I'm pretty sure that didn't happen.
or something like that. And then you'd have to try and explain it away with another yes and. It's quite fun. And basically you keep going around until, like there's stuff about drawing cards and things like that, but the aim of the game is to basically just blame each other until someone has gotten dissatisfied. Like the Dark Lord has given 3 withering looks to someone. And it could be because they don't have an excuse. They have run out of these cards, so they can't actually play to pass the buck. Or it could just be because maybe you didn't show the right amount of deference to the Dark Lord. Maybe you were snarky at them, like you don't talk back to your Dark Overlord. And there are a few different variants of how to play this game, including like a second game, which can apparently be played together or differently. It's, I've never played that version, but I would like to one day. This game, Downfall, I don't know if you caught the quarantine stream where me and Conquest of Dread and, oh no, I've forgotten their name. Oh, it started with an N. Anyway, where we played an RPG called A Quiet Year, I think, or The Quiet Year, which is about a collaborative RPG about building a world. This game is about building a world and then destroying it. It's got only 3 players, not 2 players or 4 players, just 3 players. There's no preparation involved. It was written by a woman. Yes, thank you. A woman-written RPG. And you basically make a world, give it a flaw, and that flaw is going to cause the downfall. And then we just basically narrate what happens throughout the game. It's really... Oh, Nichtwort! That's right. Thank you, Ravane Crowford. I knew it started with an N. But yeah, it's really, really cool. I think you can get a version of it on Roll20, like a digital version. You can pay for that. And you can get a digital PDF version. But I saw this in a bookshop in New York, and it was fantastic. I'm running out of battery now, so I'm probably going to have to go. But for now...
Yes, and maybe play with the Billy Wig.
But, I'll be back here another time, and I'll go through some more of these board games with you, because I'd love to see more city building RPG streams. The one you did with Nichtwort and Conquest of Dread was great. It was so good. I really want to play that with other people. I'm thinking, I know Sean isn't that fond of RPGs, but I'd like to, maybe when I'm back in Liverpool, sort of make him play it with me. Oh, sorry about that bang. Sorry, Agents of Smersh. Yeah, there's definitely a bunch more board games and jigsaw puzzles, I guess, that I want to go through with you. And including Fairy Tale I mean, storytelling games. I've got a whole bunch of those. So this is just like a sample of the different games that I have. I won't show you them all today, but look at them. Look at them. They're just put over here. No one can see them in all their glory. Very grumpy. Very, very grumpy. Oh, you'd be interested in some board game streams? Yeah, me too. And this is a pack of shark cards that I got, which are all like, have moving motion. And I bought them to try and get over my phobia of sharks. We can go through them sometime too and see how scared I am, how much it's worked. Yeah, it's a shame that when I'm using my phone, we're reliant on a battery, because I would very happily just go through, like I'm alone in the house right now, so what else am I going to do? Didn't bring my computer charger. Sigh. I'm just going to have to pet Gillyweed for hours. Won't that be sad? Have a little sook. Okay, let's finish off the stream. I take it they weren't too successful, no. Let's finish off giving Gillyweed a little petting. Who's my little weed? My little Billy. Billyweed. Oh, so pretty. She's all tired out from tearing up boxes. She's so big. You see her grinding her teeth there? She's going yum, 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 yum. That means that she's... So, actually, rabbits do that either when they're comfortable and enjoying themselves, or when they're uncomfortable or in pain. They're very, You can normally tell the difference, like, it kind of sounds like really heavy grinding if they're in pain, and then it's just like a yum, 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 yum. When they're comfortable. Yeah, kind of like purring for a cat, yeah. Look at these big ears. Big ears for Gillyweed. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today. Yeah, she's so soft. Her sister Crumpet was a lot more rough. Okay, yeah, I'm on 5% of battery, so I'm going to finish off there, but stay tuned for the sequel of board game streaming. I'm glad you had fun today, and I look forward to showing you more of my collection. Board games are so fun, and they're a huge passion of mine since I was a kid and had no one to play with because no one else liked board games. I'm so glad we're in this golden age of board games, so I'm really looking forward to sharing some more of these with you and hopefully inspiring you to get your own and get some board game friends as well, because it is still a very niche area. Alrighty, the sun is coming up where you are. Oh dear. Alright, I will see you tonight, my tonight for Sean and my Saturday morning co-op stream, where we'll be playing Totally Radical Delivery Service, given that Streets of Rage 4 gets a little bit of lag, I think, when we play it. But yeah, enjoy that, stay tuned, and thank you so much again for joining me. I'll see you next time. Ciao, ciao!